On today's show,
Oh my God!
a young woman torn apart by fear,
That was the biggest day of her life, and I couldn't be there.
at odds with her sister,
It was awful. It just really hurt me.
and breaking her mother's heart.
It's a horrible feeling because there's nothing I can do.
Can the Speakmans give this family a future?
We're just so desperate.
I don't know how much more I can take of it. My name's Becky, I'm 26. I have an extreme fear of being sick, which is called emetophobia, and I've had that probably for about 8 years now. Because of this massive fear of sickness, I don't tend to leave the house. I prefer to be on my own in case anyone else is sick. If I'm at home, I feel less likely to be sick than if I'm out. It's so hard because I've lived with it for so long that I've literally blanked so much of my life. I don't have many memories.
Becky may not remember much about her life before her phobia, but as a child, her passion was horses, and her mum Sue will never forget the day her daughter's life changed forever.
She was at a horse show and there were quite a few in the class. They pull you in and then they make you do your show, and she'd been pulled in first, which is usually a pretty good sign that you're going to do well. And all of a sudden she came out before she had to do her bit of show in front of the judge, saying she felt sick. She was in a state of complete panic. That's probably, looking back, the first time I began to notice how Becky was really feeling.
Since then, Becky's symptoms have got worse, and now, 8 years later, her fear of vomiting has completely taken over her life.
From the minute I wake up to the minute I go to sleep, there's not literally 10 minutes that goes by where I don't think about, am I going to be sick? Is anyone else going to be sick around me? I have to have a hot water bottle on me at all times, to the point where I've completely and utterly burnt my stomach from overusing a boiling hot water bottle. I've always got to have a drink. Laxatives, if I feel sick, then it will come out one end and not the other. Anti-sickness tablets, calming tablets, Valium. I have to have those with me at all times. We can't really go over 20.
Trying to keep her phobia under control is a daily struggle for Becky. She finds it difficult to hold down a job and has lost a lot of friends. Her older sister Charlotte knows all too well how it's affecting the entire family.
I got married in June last year and I asked Becky to be my maid of honour, and she was really excited and she accepted it. We had all the tickets booked to go to Cyprus for 2 weeks when we got married.
I'd packed my bag, ready to go, and I knew deep down I wouldn't be able to, but I thought if I at least look like I'm making the effort and try and get it in my head that I will be able to go, that I can do it. I couldn't even put bags in the car.
We left Rebecca here on her own, which was very hard.
I didn't have the guts to tell my sister.
Charlotte asked, "Is she here?" No.
I was devastated, you know, it's my sister, my only sister. Oh, it was awful. It just really hurt me.
She holds a massive grudge on me for that, which I don't blame her. That was the biggest day of her life. And I couldn't be there.
For Charlotte, not having her sister with her on her big day was the final straw, after years of watching Becky's phobia take over the family.
Charlotte feels very jealous of Rebecca because Rebecca has much more of my time.
Mum would put so much time and energy into helping Becky get better, which I understand now, and that's what any good mother would do, but at the time it was hard to kind of realise that.
She's always said, you know, well, you've got everything. And I'm like, but I haven't, because I don't have my health. And to me, that's more important than a house or, you know, anything.
I try and explain to both of them that, you know, I love them equally, but it's very hard.
Someone else who finds living with Becky's condition difficult is her soldier boyfriend, Chris.
He never found it a problem until we then started trying to go out, and then he realised what I was like, and I kept saying, right, give me a month. If I'm not better in a month, then it's fine, you know. Then obviously, you know, and he's tried and he's tried and he's tried, and he finds it very hard.
His mother has bought a house that they were both supposed to live in. Becca can't live there, so he lives there when he's back in this country, and Becca lives here.
Powerless to control her phobia on her own, Becky's desperate for a cure.
In the past, I've tried hypnotherapy, hypnoanalysis, NLP, CBT.
We've had anything and everything that's going.
Nothing has worked.
Mum's spent a fortune over the years, not only in certain therapies, but in, things to try and help motivate her to get better.
A few years ago, we bought a dog for her in the hope that she would be able to get out and take it for walks every day. That's not really happened.
I'm a massive animal person, and Mum knows that my Dalmatian is my life. But I've said to Mum, I'd prefer for Darcy to be put down than for me to be sick. That's how overpowering my condition.
She's got a really miserable life now. So much so that she's said to me occasionally that if this is what it's like now for her forever, there's not a lot of point in being here.
I don't know how much more I can take of it.
We're just so desperate.
It's a horrible feeling because there's nothing I can do to help her.
The Speakmans know they need to intervene as soon as possible to give Becky any chance of a future. She's scared to leave the house for fear of being sick and is starting to become a recluse. So they've travelled to her home in Suffolk to see if they can help.
Hello. Good to be here. It's our pleasure.
Next, can the Speakmans heal the sadness
Everyone around me I let down.
You're not letting people down.
and desperation
This is probably one of the hardest letters I've ever had to write.
to give Becky back her life?
She's not 3 anymore, she's a 26-year-old woman.
26-year-old Becky has spent 8 long years living with a devastating disorder known as emetophobia, a fear of vomiting.
I have to have a hot water bottle on me at all times, to the point where I've completely and utterly burnt my stomach. To me, it's comfort.
So scared of being sick, Becky never leaves the house. Can Nik and Eva help her recover from this desperate situation?
Well, thanks for inviting us to come and see you. You're a really beautiful girl. And I can't imagine what on earth could trouble you. You look just so perfect. So why are we here today?
I suffer with a massive, massive phobia of being sick. That has literally completely taken over my life.
And how long do you believe that you've had this phobia?
Since I can remember, but started having panic attacks due to it from about the age of 18.
For you to dislike sick or being sick, that would indicate that you've either experienced or seen something that has created that fear. So what could that have been?
When I was I about 3?
2.5.
About 2.5. I drank a bottle of kiddies medicine and got either rushed to hospital or you'd taken me to hospital or something.
To hospital.
And they'd given me a tablet or a drink of some sort to make me throw up. And I can remember Mum worrying, crying. I've only ever been sick once since then, which was at the age of 7, and I haven't been sick since then.
What do you recall about the incident when Becky drank the children's medicine?
It was really worrying because it was a large bottle and I had to take her to hospital, drive her to hospital quite quickly. And I can remember the drive very clearly because she was in the back in a car seat and I was hanging onto her leg and trying to drive at the same time because I didn't want her to go to sleep.
How did they react when you got to hospital?
They rushed us through and we went through straight away and they gave her, it was some liquid to make her very, very sick.
And do you remember her being very, very sick?
I do.
Do you remember being very, very sick? Are you actually seeing it as though you're the one that's being sick right now?
No.
Are you observing it?
Yeah.
So,
And how does that make you feel?
Heart starts racing. Sweaty, anxious, uncomfortable.
okay.
And when you said that you have panic attacks, is that feeling similar?
Yeah, very similar.
How many panic attacks do you have a day?
I can have a panic attack that lasts about 10 minutes, the actual physical feelings of a panic attack.
Okay.
And then it will linger, so I'll have that butterflies and that sickness feeling all day.
Okay.
Or I can have a panic attack that last kind of a couple of minutes, and I can have 6 or 7 of those in a day.
Okay.
But I can't remember the last day where I didn't have a panic attack.
Okay. How's this affected your life?
I won't leave the house because of it, because I'm worried about if I go out, if I'm sick in public, or just the feeling of being sick.
Can I ask you, Susan, how does listening to this make you feel?
I've gone through the emotions of being angry with her, being understanding. I turned around one day when she was having a panic and I slapped her around the face really hard, which
Give me a bit of shock there.
What made you do that?
because I thought it might work. I thought maybe shock.
What makes you angry about it?
Not being able to rely on her in any way, but you know that. I don't know whether it's anger or what. Disappointed, hurt.
What's Becky not been able to do that's been important to you?
She wasn't able to come to my father's funeral, her grandfather's funeral. There's been so many occasions but it is like, it's almost normal now. And I just don't expect anything of her. I don't want to give her any more burden.
So how do you feel about it, Becky? Because I can see that you're getting upset, and particularly about your granddad's funeral. We tell your mum.
I let everyone down.
No,
Everyone around me I let down.
you're not letting people down.
I make you absolutely knackered by having to look after my horse every day. When all I want to do is go up there and ride and compete and stuff like I used to. And I'd do anything to be able to do that again. You've done everything for me, and
And I'll continue to do everything for you. But you don't let me down.
Can I just say what strikes me here is that you've got a real determination to get over this.
Yeah.
A real determination. And yet your mum she said, and I can still hear this, that she just said, it doesn't matter. If you carry on with this, it doesn't matter. And I'm struggling with that a little bit.
She loves me too much.
Well, I understand that. I understand, but I'm sort of thinking that if you were my daughter and my daughter was trapped as a prisoner in a house, then I just don't think that would ever be acceptable to me. And so I just try and understand how you feel, Sue, really.
It's the norm, isn't it?
See, because what I'm saying is your mum is making the situation more acceptable than it should be.
So you are an amazing mum. I can see that there is absolutely not a shred of doubt that you love your daughter unconditionally and that you would do absolutely anything for your daughter. However, that is also detrimental to Becky in that you are making a very unacceptable situation acceptable.
I'm looking at you now, and the way that you're stroking Becky's hand, to me, is the way that you were stroking her leg when she was in the car. You were taking her to hospital. It's the same thing.
Yes, you're probably right. She's just very precious.
I understand, but
I'm not doing her any favours.
but she's 26. She's not 3 anymore. She's a 26-year-old woman. And I'm not, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to love her, because absolutely, it's, of course you do, and of course you love your mum, but this isn't right. Because all you're doing with this
is reinforcing.
Reinforcing something that she's...
There we go.
Is this the first time that anybody's mentioned this to you?
Yes.
And how does that make you feel?
That makes me feel, to be honest, makes me feel awful that I've possibly dragged out something for longer than it should have been there.
Like Nick said, you have been reacting with Becky like the 3-year-old because you've not let it go either.
Sorry. I didn't mean to.
I know you didn't mean to.
Didn't see it like that.
I know that I can wrap you around my little finger, as hard as it is, and do you know what I mean? So I probably, it's habit, I play off that.
And thank you for being so honest, Becky.
Yeah, I'll be, yeah.
I can see that, but it's great and a great step forward, and it's part of actually becoming the 26-year-old.
Yeah.
by taking that responsibility.
I know that I can walk all over her.
And
And
you
I
can
don't mean to, but it's hard.
get it.
It's
You can
hard.
get away with it,
Yeah.
but it's not life.
No.
It's not life for you.
No.
And it's even less in life for your mum, because ultimately, your mum is still, I can see it in her face, she's just, all this is through guilt.
Shouldn't
It was
be.
an accident that
Yeah.
happened. It was an accident. But you're feeling guilty, and because of that guilt, that's why she allows you to wrap around your little finger.
Makes sense.
So we know that there's not just you two that's been affected by this. I know that you've got a sister.
Yeah.
We'd like to invite your sister to come and join us, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Charlotte, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for coming.
We've just been talking about Becky's issues and how it affects Becky and how it affects your mum. And we'd like to know how it affects you.
The biggest problem is over the last 10 years, Mum's put so much time into trying to help Becky, which I've always felt slightly outcast by that. And it's, in the scheme of things, it sounds really selfish of me to feel like that. She's the one with the phobia and the bigger problem, but it has taken its toll on everybody. You know, Mum's been so strong, haven't you? You've been so strong over it all and dealt with it the best way you can. But it's been very frustrating.
I understand that you had a relationship.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, on-off boyfriend at the moment. Chris, I've been with him for just over 2 years. He's in the army, he's in Afghanistan at the moment.
Okay.
And we'd got a house and I'd moved into it, and within 2 weeks it was, I've got to go back to Mum's, and I was making excuses to come back here.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
And I want you to think about this.
Okay.
You felt you had to come home because it was your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the house or your mum?
The house.
100%?
Yep. 100% the house.
And what's your thoughts
I
on it?
think-
Hand on heart, let's be completely
Hands on
straight
heart,
here.
I think Becky's comfort is Mum, and I think she needs to break that tie.
And what makes you say that?
I think it's the connection they've got, and I think it's because it's Mum's house. I think if Mum, for example, moved to another country and Becky managed to get to that other country, that would then become her comfort zone.
I need to stay in this house.
You and Mum have built this up over the years, and your comfort is because you've got everything here that you need, including Mum. As like slightly on the outside, that's what I think.
You see, what's interesting is that we made a discovery before, and the discovery was that actually your mum still feels guilty for what happened to Becky when she was 3 years of age.
Yeah, okay.
And as a result of that guilt, she's been overcompensating. And therefore, essentially, unbeknownst to your mum, she's been making the situation worse.
Yeah.
So if she's been overcompensating with Becky, who's been losing out?
Well, I'd say I have.
And how does that make you feel? We tell Becky.
No, because Becky, you're the one that's poorly, and I've got my life and my family and stuff, but as the years have gone by, like, it would have been nice to have a better relationship with Mum. And you know that.
No, I know
It's
that.
been hard, like...
You don't have the relationship with Mum that you should have because of the way I am.
That's how it's felt.
I know it is. And I know, and
That's
I
how
can
it's
see, and I
felt.
can see that.
Felt really outcast
I know.
over the years because of it.
You've
it's
told
not
me
your.
that.
I know, but you've
And I'm
only
not-
done what any mother could do, because it's hard. Like, how were you meant to know how to deal with it?
I didn't.
But you've done the best you could do, and you never beat yourself up about that because you've done everything you can do. But
But I'm sorry, because I...
no, don't apologise, Mum, because I'd do exactly the same in your situation, like I would. It's just,
know you get frustrated.
Grandma's always said you're so sensitive and so knowing, and I didn't take any notice, and I'm sorry.
Mum, don't.
I love you so
Mum,
much.
don't, please, because it's all right. Mum. Shh, please, Mum.
I'm so sorry.
Don't, Mum, it's not your fault. Please don't be sorry.
To start to heal years of hurt and repair their relationship, Becky and her family have written down how they feel.
Dear Becky, we've all been on this journey together. Let's just hope in a week you'll be back. It means so much to me, and I love you more than anything. It's difficult to write this, Becky. You know how I feel. Please just focus on this help and be strong, and you can do it. I love you, Charlotte.
This is probably one of the hardest letters I've ever had to write. Although you probably realise how my inability to help you has troubled me over the years. We have spoken and cried together on many occasions over the situation, and there is nothing more I could ask for than you to be able to enjoy your life and live it to its full. I've watched your suffering and pain. As your mum, the hardest thing is for me not being able to mend it. I just long and pray for the time when you can go out and embrace your life, take it in both hands and have fun. With a heavy heart, but a very hopeful heart. Love, Mum.
To Mum and Charlie, firstly I want to say how grateful I am for everything you've both done for me. I'm so sorry I've been the way I've been and so much strain it has put on your relationship. I love you both more than anything, and not only do I want to get better for me, but for you two to live a normal life again. For us to all be happy, be the best friends and sisters that we should be, and Mum to have a relationship where I don't have to rely on you. Thank you, I owe you both a happy life, and I will give that to you one day.
We've also got a video message for you. I understand from Chris from Afghanistan that we'd like to share with you.
Hi Becky, I'm sorry I can't be there today. On the day that's potentially going to be the start of a new life for yourself and for us, hopefully. I'd love nothing more than to come home and we'll be back living together. You'll be riding, competing again. But my fingers are crossed. I'm sure you'll be fine. Over halfway now, I'll be back soon. Love you loads, Princess. Bye.
How do you feel seeing that message from Chris?
For him to get back and for me to be fine would be amazing.
I've got to say, for him to have put up with this for 2 years, he's obviously quite a remarkable man.
No, he isn't.
And also, it's very apparent that he must absolutely adore you and think you're worth it.
So we've obviously seen how you're all suffering. Everybody's suffering because of this issue. So, are you ready to change?
Yeah, massively ready.
That's good to hear.
Couldn't be ready enough.
So, Sue and Charlotte, you're going to have to leave her in our capable hands, if you will do.
Be very pleased to.
And
Absolutely.
no guarantees, but we'll do our best.
Thank you so much.
Mediation today with the family has been really, really interesting. Saw quite a transformation in Becky, in that I think she very quickly realised that we weren't going to accept these sort of behaviours as being normal or being as an illness or being a part of her life.
When the Speakmans indicated that it was partly my fault, it made me feel very guilty.
I didn't like to see the reaction on Mum's face, obviously, because it was very upsetting for her.
She's still stroking her hand, and once she starts doing that, Becky then suddenly transforms into this little girl. It's amazing.
Us coming in as a third party has made Mum actually see the situation for what it is, and she's actually realised that she's been facilitating this condition and that it actually has to stop.
After the break, can Becky put her phobia behind her
It's hard to take that in because it sounds so easy.
and set herself free?
If we save you from this today, will you hate us?
Today, an overwhelming fear
I suffer with a massive phobia of being sick.
has divided a family.
Don't. God love you so much. Don't, please, because it's all right.
For 8 long years, Becky has tried everything to cure her condition,
Nothing has worked.
and she's now unable to leave the house. Will the Speakmans be able to make a difference in just one day?
See, the thing is, Becky, we all have choices in life. And up until this moment, you've made certain choices in your life. And we've got a little gift box that represents the choices that you've made so far, which I'd like to share with you.
Okay.
I'd like you to pop that on your knee. And what I'd like you to do is open the box, and I'd like you to take everything out one at a time.
I'm scared of opening it.
Because there's some choices in there that you made, and you've got to be ready to alter.
Picture of me and Chris. Broken relationship
Because
because of my panic attacks and my emetophobia.
how does that make you feel?
Lump in my throat.
Okay. Don't like that one, do you? Who's missing?
Me?
Does that make you feel?
Absolutely gutted that I was the part of the reason why it ruined my sister's wedding day. You know, there were 3 bridesmaids. I was meant to be there as well, you know, and to know that I'd affected all of those people as well, not just my sister, my mum, but everyone, and the fact that then my sister then had to explain to everyone why I wasn't there.
That must have been hard for her.
I've never asked her.
Just think if you had to do it. If the roles were reversed and you had to explain to everyone at your wedding why your sister
Your only sister.
wasn't there.
Be heartbroken and embarrassed, just disappointed, but more than disappointed. Like, it's life-changing, isn't it? And
What have you got there?
I didn't manage to go to my granddad's funeral last year.
Who had to explain that one away?
My mum and my grandma. I didn't ring my grandma and tell her. I let mum do it because I was too ashamed to say that I couldn't go.
Hang on a sec.
What does that signify to you?
Well, 2 things. That made me ill, and I don't even want to touch it, really. That, well, I'm practically chained to this house. Prisoner in my own home, aren't I, really? No, I don't like that.
Why don't you like that?
Because I had that in hospital when I drank that.
And how old are you now?
Nearly 27.
Okay, nearly 27. So the question I've got, Becky, is that, because it's really obvious to me, that you've not grown up. And the question is, isn't it about time that you did?
Yeah, without a doubt.
We've got an alternative box.
Okay.
Because this is a choice that you made. No one's designed your life but you. You chose to look at an event that happened to you when you were 3 years of age in a certain way.
Yeah.
It's not the way that most people in the world look at it. But because of you looking at it in that way, it designed your life. And that's your life as it is. But there was an alternative. So before you open that,
Yeah.
how are you feeling?
Excited. I want to see what's in it.
Okay. And how do you feel about that one?
I don't even want that in the room.
But that's been your life for almost 27 years.
I've never seen it like that.
But immediately, when we walked in today, that's all we saw.
That's embarrassing.
That's what we saw.
And you used the word prisoner. Self-imposed
Did I?
prisoner. Yeah, you did.
There's no one stood at the door stopping you going out. There's no jailer.
What's in there?
Picture of me when I used to compete the horses.
Is that going to be a part of your future?
Yeah, without a doubt. Every weekend I want to be taken up with this again. Or most weekends.
Is that a happy girl on there?
Yeah. I look quite serious, but I think I was happy.
What else we got?
What does that represent to you?
Well, this is the show jumper that I used to have. It's one of his shoes. And I rode him and wore these shoes into the ground for him.
Were those happy memories?
Yeah, massively happy memory.
Who was in control of your life at that point?
The horse mainly, but me.
Do you remember that freedom?
It's very hazy because it was so long ago. But when I think about it, I get a bit of a buzz. I get a bit of that butterfly feeling of...
Just notice that butterfly feeling
Yeah,
that you're getting
yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the difference between that and the butterfly feeling that you described earlier that brought on panic? No difference. Is there?
No. No.
What does that tell you?
There's no reason to panic. Because it's, like you say, it's the same feeling, but I push it into a panic attack.
That's right.
It's not panic.
I wouldn't even say you push it into a panic attack. You misinterpret it
Okay.
and then become anxious due to the misinterpretation.
So when we talked earlier, you referred a lot to panic and panic attacks, and you've just done it now. Can you have one for me?
What, right now?
Yeah.
I'm trying.
You see, I remember you said earlier, your words, 10 minutes doesn't go by without I don't think about vomiting, and therefore I start to panic.
Yeah.
And I can have a panic attack that can last the bulk of the day. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, go on, do your best. "26 years of practicing. Go for it."
I can't do it.
Why?
I don't know.
Come on. Are you telling me that you brought us here today under false pretenses? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not a fraud.
You see, I know that people that have panic attacks, they have a thought process and they know that they can set one off like that.
Really?
Yeah. And the days that they're not panicking, they want to check that they still can. So they're becoming a great day and they go, "I've not panicked yet. Oh, God, let me just check it's still there," because it's familiarity.
Yeah.
They don't want it,
Yeah.
but it's familiarity. So you've had a lot of practice, many years. You talked about it earlier with your family, that you panic all the time.
Yeah.
Show me.
I can't.
Why can't you?
I'm trying to show you, but my body's not allowing it. My mind's not allowing it. But I don't know why.
Who's created them?
Me.
Okay. So is it possible that you've reached that point where you just say,
No more.
"No more"?
Have you grown up, maybe?
What, in the space of about 5 minutes? I don't know.
Let's go through the rest of the box, if we can. Who's that?
That's me and Chris.
That looks different to the last photograph I saw of you and Chris. In that box.
Was it the same photo?
Yes.
Was it really the same? I'm looking at that completely different light to what I just looked at that. I didn't even recognise it as being the same photograph.
Why?
Because we look happy here.
Does that make you feel happy seeing you together and happy?
Yeah,
Do you deserve that?
probably not.
Do you deserve to have a happy life?
Yeah,
Do you deserve to be free like the rest of us?
yeah.
So the question is, today, which box are you going to choose?
This. This, definitely. 100%.
What we're saying to you today is at the age of 3,
Yeah.
you made a decision based on you drinking a bottle of medicine, being taken to the hospital, being given some medicine to make you vomit,
Yeah.
and that decision on that day changed your life because from that moment you were frightened to vomit. And what we're saying is that actually you got it wrong, because the reason why we have the ability to vomit is to save our lives. Not to make us ill.
I know it makes sense, but it's hard to take that in because it sounds so easy.
Who was the person out there that decided to tell everyone that life was hard? I'll tell you something, it wasn't us two. So, we'd like to show you something else because today, life gets easier. So, you've been chained to this house. For the last 23 years. That's your life, right there. So I've got an important question to ask you. If we save you from this today, will you hate us? So why was it 23 years ago that some kind person in the hospital gave you some medicine to make you sick so you didn't die? That medicine saved your life.
I've never looked at it like that.
No.
You see, when you're 3 years of age, it's easy to blame the wrong thing. But you're not 3 anymore, are you? You're a grown woman. And this is your choice. You can stay.
No, take it off.
Where can we go or what can we do to celebrate and know and put it all behind us?
Go and see my horses.
Are you ready to do that?
Yeah.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
And are you sure? Do you promise us that you're going to leave all this behind you?
I don't know, I promise.
Has it gone? Has it gone? Do you know? Just search inside. Has it gone? It has, hasn't it?
I can only give you a hug of one. I'm stuck.
We're taking Becky horse riding now, but we've also got a huge surprise waiting for her and I can't wait.
That's right. We've surprised her several times today, but the biggest and best surprise is waiting for her. Can't wait to see her reaction.
Next, can Becky harness her newfound freedom?
How do you feel?
They don't know.
And the biggest shock is still to come.
Oh my God!
26-year-old Becky has lived with a fear of vomiting all her adult life.
I won't leave the house because of it, because I'm worried about if I go out, if I'm sick in public.
And it's left her relationship with her soldier boyfriend, Chris, in ruins.
He's tried and he's tried and he's tried, and he finds it very hard.
And she's desperate to put things right.
For him to get back and for me to be fine would be amazing.
Just this morning, Becky was worrying about being sick every 10 minutes. With Nik and Eva's help, she's no longer trapped by fear and panic. They believe the first step to getting her life back is to visit the stables where Becky will ride the horse she's never ridden.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't know if you've made it, so...
Mum? Mum?
That's my sister.
Is she in there? Is she in there?
Come on.
They don't know that you're here.
Fantastic.
Oh, she's in there. Oh my God. I love you so much. Oh, Becky. Mum. This is real. This is real. I don't believe it.
When I saw Becky get out of the car, it was awesome. It was surreal. It was magical. I can barely put it into words. It made my heart explode.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you.
Oh God, it's amazing.
As soon as we drove up the driveway, I saw so many people just standing there waiting, and my heart suddenly went, woof. That used to be panic, but that wasn't panic, that was excitement. Be as good as
For Becky, getting used to everyday life is going to take some time.
Yeah,
Why don't you put us here?
Hello. What do you want to say?
I don't know what to say.
wow.
How do you feel?
They don't know.
You seem really chilled out.
Don't know. I've seen really
This is very new to her. So she's now experiencing new feelings.
It's like the magic fairies stood over you and just go.
Nik and Eva, my little magic fairies.
Never been called that before, but yes, it's all right. I'll take it.
So far, so good. But she's about to get on a horse she's never ridden. Can Becky prove to her family that she's able to fight her phobia?
As soon as I got on Molly, I literally completely and utterly calmed down. On a horse is where I've always been, and it feels natural, it comes natural.
How does it feel being up there? You feel nervous?
I feel less nervous now I'm on than I was on the floor.
She's
Are we going? Are we off?
Looks like it.
Spending 8 years living with an uncontrollable fear has not only ruined Becky's life, it's taken a toll on her whole family.
I've never ever seen her on Molly like this, never.
Never.
Never. Because she understands now. She didn't understand before.
So how does it make you feel?
Absolutely magical.
After just one day with the Speakmans, Becky and her family can forget the past and start to move forward.
Woohoo! I'm free! I owe them my life. They've completely and utterly given my life back to me, and I've never thought in a million years anyone would be able to do that. The fact that I can get up here and I can jump on my horse and ride again, I could never have done that without them.
So Becky, got your life back.
Yeah.
And you've had a lot of surprises today too, haven't you? Remember the surprises? Which one did you like best so far?
Just the getting better.
Okay.
Just-
Getting better?
yeah,
Do you remember the boxes?
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? We had a third box, but this box was, it's going to be too big. So we thought we'd leave the box and just bring you the contents.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Put your way back.
I love you.
You could have prepared me for
Is that the best surprise?
Oh my God.
I love you too.